Yo, what's good? Man, I hope y'all doing all right this morning. Oh, man, it's been a long week. As always, man, I hope y'all doing good. If you came over to USA, man, I hope you're doing well. If you moved on from USA, shout out to you. I hope you're doing well with your new endeavors. Um, Let's start our check in with y'all real quick, man. I've been out on the road for about 3 weeks now. Right now I'm riding through Oregon, headed up to Washington. Then I got to head over to Minnesota. I've been really out west for the past 2 weeks. Just cause, like, you know, as a business owner, you have to maneuver a certain way. And if what you're usually doing is not working, then you have to find something else that does work. And what I found was that what I was doing wasn't yielding the results that I would like. I mean, yes, I was still making good money, but it wasn't the money that I wanted to make. So with that, I had to shift a little bit and start running loads out west more, especially while the weather isn't as bad as normal, because the Northwest, it's not really that cold at night. Yeah, you got rain and stuff here and there, but there's no snow on the ground. There's nothing at all. I'm driving through Oregon and Washington, and it's been clear. The only snow you see is on the mountains. So I've been digging it. Of course, you got your fuel prices and stuff out here that you don't feel like dealing with, but you kind of take that as it comes, and you figure ways around it to minimize what you're spending on fuel anyway. But I know folks keep asking me, man, it's constant anyway, about USA Truck and what you should do if you're here, and if you're still planning on coming here, how should you run? First of all, if you are not confident in dispatching yourself, if you are lazy, if you are somebody who wants to go home every weekend, it's not going to work for you. Now, I will say, depending on what market you live in, going home every weekend is feasible, depending on what market you live in. Not every freight market at USA Truck will yield the results you want if you go home every weekend. If you stay out every 2 weeks, you can piece together 3 to 4K take home. Well, I'm not gonna really say that. I'll say 3,000 take home 2 weeks in a row if you plan your loads out right. Because the key to really doing that is getting you a load that picks up on like Friday or Saturday, well, like say Saturday, and drops on Sunday or Monday. That way you have that revenue already started out for that new week. So, depending on what market you in, you can start your week out at $3,000, $4,000 load on Monday. So now you got, 4 or 5 more days left in the week for you to make more revenue. And that's how you can really be successful here. Yeah, I know some folks will give me shit. This isn't normal. Folks like, oh, what's going on with USA? This, and USA fucking up. Things haven't been as good over here at USA as they were. Now, you see a lot of these newer USA ICs on here talk about, well, I don't get why these guys are complaining. I make good money. All of us on here that do these YouTube videos, we make good money. That's why we started doing them, to help people out and give people advice that are over here. We all make good money. The thing is, most of y'all, 90% of y'all weren't here when freight was what it used to be. Me and Frank, I think, are the only two that are left that were here, that were here during that time that did YouTube, when freight was paying double what it does now. Most like Spring Hill, Kansas is a go-to with people. Clorox loads all the kitty litter. Those loads to pay no less than $4 to $5 grand to go, like sometimes 4,500 miles. It was like, supply and demand. It was during COVID. It's kitty litter. Kitty litter wasn't in that high of a demand during that time. Our Kimberly Clark loads. Now you can say some of that's on supply and demand, but at the same time too, I don't know if we lost that lane or not, because a lot of our Kimberly Clark lanes that we used to have dried up. They're not as frequent as they used to be. We used to have loads that come. Well, we still have them. The loads come out of Memphis going to Bahia, Mississippi, going to Colorado. Loads are generally like 10 to 20,000 pounds. They're paying about 25 to 3 grand right now. Those used to pay about 5. And it's seasonings coming out of McCormick. We used to have loads coming out of Niagara and Bahia. Those loads used to pay really well. Used to pay great as well. We had hazmat loads, like 5,000 pounds to go out to Cali, paying $6,000-$7,000 leaving Memphis. Like, yeah, that's not really much. That's, in the scheme of things, you're talking about the mileage, but you're also 6,000-7,000 pounds. So you're not really spending much on fuel anyway to take those loads out there. That quickly dried up because I ran that route for a month every time I leave home, and that dried up quick. So it really depends on where you live and what your results will yield. I'm gonna say it, and I keep saying it, keep telling people, if you live in Atlanta, really, if you live in Georgia, I would not recommend coming to USA. Of course, unless you live in like North Georgia, like way up north, like Ringgold area, right on the border of Tennessee. I wouldn't recommend coming here because it is so oversaturated in Atlanta that it's hard to park. You can't find any parking at the terminals. If you do find parking, then it's so tight that you are taking a big risk on your truck being hit, and there's no cameras there. So if your truck gets hit, if you don't have a camera that catches impacts and activates when something impacts your truck, then the deductible, everything is kind of on you because you don't know who hit your truck. Could have been a company driver, could have been an IC, but you won't know. And it's the fact the trailer pool, that's a bigger problem with USA. The trailer pool sucks. But the more I look around, that is a problem kind of everywhere. Most companies have a problem with trailer pools right now because they're having to phase out their old trailers and sell them, but they can't bring in new trailers because, companies can't keep, like Utility, Great Dane, they can't keep up with the supply and demand for the orders they already had due to shortages. So, it's certain stuff like that causes issues right now. That's why I say I wouldn't recommend it. If you live in the Memphis area, be real with you. You can make money if you live in the Memphis area because that's where I'm from. But if you want to maximize your profits, you need to stay out at least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks, maybe 3 if you really want to go out and get it. If you really want to hustle, you need to stay out 2 to 3 weeks. Coming home every weekend is not going to work. Some weeks you can do it because I've had I had a month where I went out, came back home, and I ended up taking home like $4 grand on average every week that month. But that was only that 1 month. I've never been able to replicate that again. Ever since then, I'd say the most I make if I go home every single weekend is like I'd take home like $2,000, $2,500, which is still a lot of money, but I'm in this to make the most I can. Like, yeah, like $2,000 to $2,500, that pays all my bills for the month. That pays everything I got. Everything else I make is extra, but I don't want to cap my income at just $2,000, $2,500. If I can make $5,000 a week, I want to make that. If I can take home 10, I want that. So you know, I don't see a point in capping my income like that. Now, here's the other thing. If you decide to run out west, because I know I see a lot of people call me and they get stuck out west. Look, let me tell you something. You got to do one or two things if you run out west, because USA's market is actually a lot stronger than expected. Because I've seen the brokerage board for USA, which kind of doesn't make sense to me. But I do get it in a way. But at the same time, if you posted all of these loads you have out west on our board, those loads will get covered because guys will see that money and drivers will want to come out here to get that money. Because I've seen what the brokerage board looks like, and yeah, I'd probably say 75% of the loads on the brokerage board are not on the load board that we see. Now, when you come out here, you can get with your dispatcher advisor, and they can reach out to brokerage and pull you a load, or they can reach out and they'll send you snap screenshots of the board to see what loads are around you. Which is how I've been working it. They'll send me screenshots of loads out here where, 250 miles, in my area, within 250 miles of me. Actually, there was some that were a little bit further away. Like I got the opportunity to go pick up a load out of Canada, but due to COVID restrictions, we can't go to Canada right now. Because there was a load picking up out of Edmonton, Alberta. Paid $13,500 to leave Canada, going down to want to say it was Illinois. It was $13,500 to leave Edmonton, Alberta to come down to Illinois. I would have taken it. It was a super light load, but due to restrictions right now with COVID, we can't actually go up there right now. And yes, USA does have loads in Canada, surprisingly. They said they're trying to beef that up a little bit more, and they're beefing up our Western Freight with them opening that new brokerage they got out here. And I think I want to say LA or Sacramento. Well, they opened up one in LA and Sacramento. I can't remember exactly, but it was something like that. So you do have that option. And you also have the option of downloading 123 load board and looking at USA Truck loads. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you're going to see some shit on 123 that's going to piss you off. Piss a lot of us off. It's one of the reasons why I've been in the process of leaving USA, but I have not left yet. We'll get to that in a moment. Because if you look on 123 load board, some of your loads you'll see pay shit, sometimes $1,000 more than what it is on our load board. The USA has their reasoning why they say they do that. And, it doesn't make sense to me because they didn't say it was spot market rate. They said they would rather take a loss on posting that load outside and getting somebody to make sure it gets ran than posting it for that price on our board, which makes no sense because if you post it for that price on our board, it would get run because USA actually has high paying freight on these outside boards. But I explained that in another video. You can go back and watch that video, and it talks more about that. But you can look on 123 load board. Now, the thing with 123, some of our loads on 123 we are not allowed to haul because either there have been too many service failures and that company no longer wants actual USA drivers pulling those loads, or it's like special contracts, because there have been some of those I've tried to haul. I've gotten one without issue, because they'll, you know, you can make it. You're somebody who never gets service failures, because I haven't. Never got a service failure as a company driver. Never got one as an IC. I generally, you know, so I've been able to haul some of those loads. So that is another thing you can do. Now, on to another one of the issues. A lot of people like, you know, my appointments with USA, you know, they're not correct, or, you know, shit like that. Well, I feel you. I've been there, done that. But you kind of got to take it into your own hands. Me, I call my shippers, I call the receivers myself. I don't ask my advisor to do it unless it's pertaining to changing a load to a drop instead of a live unload. That's the only time I really ask for her to do any leg work for me like that. Or if it's, you know, finding me a load while I'm out west, if I can't find anything myself. 9 times out of 10, if you call a shipper or you receive it yourself, because of a lot of product shortages right now, you can go in early, pick your load up early, or you can go deliver early. This last week, my load that delivered in California, I delivered that load shit like 10 hours early. It's actually more than that. It's supposed to deliver at 8 a.m. I forgot what day that was. All my days starting to kind of mesh together. Supposed to deliver the load at 8 a.m. But I actually delivered it at what was I want to say it was like 1:30 in the afternoon the day before. The load that I'm on right now, I picked it up. And this load right here is paying $5,500 to go up from West Sacramento, California, Lathrop, California to Spokane, Washington. I got a load leaving out of Spokane going over to Minnesota, paying $75. And of course, before it goes to the truck, so, you know, most probably about 65%, that tells you how much you're making. But I got those 2 loads, and this load here I picked up, it wasn't supposed to be picked up until 10 o'clock. I got 10 o'clock yesterday morning. I got there at 6. Still picked the load up early. I had to wait a little bit because, you know, most places they pick your load and have it ready for you at your appointment time. So, you know, sometimes you do need to call ahead so they can go ahead and start picking your load, but that's not always necessary. So there's that. And I mean, you know, like always, you know, I'm going to cut this video kind of short. If you need any help, comment down below. I'll get with you. You know, shoot me your number, whatever. Or you can always email me and I'll get back with you. But yeah, and like I said in my last video, man, take everything you hear on here with a grain of salt, even coming from me. I keep it real with everybody. A lot of the folks that I've corresponded with and talked to on here, they can tell you that I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit for you. I'm gonna keep it real with you because I want you to make the best decision for you financially. Because, you know, if you make a decision off of the wrong information, you can put yourself in a bad spot. That's why I try to be as accurate with my information as possible on here. But yeah, if you need any help, holler at me. But until then, y'all have a good one, man. Peace.